It's another edition of Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. Publisher Michele Cobb is with me. Take it away, Michele.
Today we're going to talk about Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren. Susan Baird was the translator, and it's read by Sutton Foster.
Oh, how interesting. The book of our childhood.
Yes, and two things. First of all, I forgot our theme for the week is female authors. So here's our second female authored title. And it has been quite some time since I've read Pippi Longstocking.
Me too.
So it was really fun to revisit this title and to realize what I hadn't realized when I read it many years ago, or had forgotten I realized, that it's set in Sweden.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And I loved this book when I was a kid. I never sort of wrapped my mind around the fact Sweden.
Yes, but here we are with this great wild character in a place that I don't think of as being
Wild.
wild or coloring outside the lines a lot. So that was a new layer for me. And to hear the abandon by which Pippi lives, it was just such a delight.
Well, I was going to say, for people who didn't grow up with Pippi Longstocking, how would you, briefly describe the book and who she is?
She is a 9-year-old girl who lives on her own, no parents with her, with a monkey and a horse. She doesn't go to school, she befuddles adults, and she befriends the children next door and kind of pulls them into what I would call a tornado of imagination and fun. The story is that her mother died when she was a baby, and her father, who is a sea captain, has disappeared at sea, though she believes he is alive and will return.
Isn't there like a chest of gold or something that enables her to like support herself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she just goes on this series of truly humorous adventures, including a trip to the circus, interacting with burglars.
A little Home Alone there, huh?
Exactly. It is kind of the precursor to Home Alone.
Also, I was thinking as you were talking, a little bit of a precursor to Lyra in The Golden Compass too.
Yes. Yes, I hadn't thought about all of these connections with later literature and cultural impact movies and things like that.
To talk a little bit about Sutton Foster, I'm very curious to know how she did.
Well, she is great. With her theater background, she's an excellent choice to narrate. She's got a lot of energy and she really uses her full vocal range. So that's really nice. And she's particularly strong at sounding young, which for those
Mm.
of you who watch the show younger makes sense. and
Yes, it does.
and she fills out all the voices with this range of accents, and she even gets to use her singing talents. So two
They
big
have her
thumbs up.
sing?
They do, yeah, a little bit.
How cool is that?
So, shall we hear some? I mean, let's just hear.
I was about to say, so
This is an introduction to Pippi herself.
okay. This is Pippi Longstocking. It's written by Astrid Lindgren. It's translated by Susan Beard and read by Sutton Foster.
Pippi set off down the street. She walked with one foot on the pavement and the other in the gutter. Tommy and Annika stared after her until they couldn't see her anymore. After a while, she came back, and this time she was walking backward. That was so she didn't have to turn round to walk home. When she reached Tommy and Annika's gate, she stopped. The children looked at each other in silence. At last, Tommy said, "Why did you walk backward?" "Why I walked backward?" Pippi said. "We live in a free country, don't we? Aren't you allowed to walk any way you want? Let me tell you that in Egypt, every single person walks like that, and no one thinks it's strange in the slightest." "How do you know?" asked Tommy. "You've never been to Egypt." "Me? Not been to Egypt? That's news to me. I've been everywhere in the entire world and seen much stranger things than people walking backward. I wonder what you'd have said if I'd walked on my hands like they do in furthest India."
Oh my God, I love her characterization of Pippi, the energy. I find myself sitting up straighter. I am definitely listening to this.
Yes. And it's short too. So it was like bing, bang, boom, really fun and fast. And
Utterly charming.
yeah, I felt a little wild after listening to it. It's like,
Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's so nice to remember Pippi Longstocking.
It really is. It makes me want to go back and listen to other books from my childhood that I loved at the time and have forgotten all the details of.
Absolutely. That is Pippi Longstocking, written by Astrid Lindgren, translated by Susan Beard, and read by Sutton Foster. Great, great, great suggestion, Michele. Thank you. And speaking of which, I want to remind people there's a bonus edition of Behind the Mic on Friday, which is we're revisiting my interview with Mary Rose Wood, that wonderful YA middle grade author who wrote some absolutely terrific books, including The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place. So it kind of is in the Pippi Longstocking tradition. And that'll be Friday on Behind the Mic, a bonus episode.
And it fits our theme of women authors. There you go.
That's right, it most certainly does. Support for Behind the Mic comes from Dreamscape, the publisher of The Tenant, by #1 New York Times bestselling author Frida McFadden. I'm Jo Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.